A man on an airplane, having just consumed a drink, unexpectedly experienced a wave of dizziness and blurred vision. He immediately sensed something was gravely wrong and attempted to rise from his seat, only to be restrained by the person next to him. The assailant then dragged him into the airplane's restroom, muttering words about a bounty. It became clear that the aircraft harbored more than one assassin, all converging for the same target, driven by the promise of an enormous reward. Who was this man? And why was he entangled in such a large-scale assassination plot? What earth-shattering secret lay behind it all? The story rewinds to 12 hours earlier. That morning, CIA agent Hunter was whistling as he walked to work, unaware that moments later, he would receive an urgent alert from a colleague. His expression changed instantly, and he hurriedly entered the office building, descending to the 30th basement level. Just 10 minutes prior, the CIA had received shocking news. One of their facilities in Bangkok, Thailand, had been destroyed in a bombing, clearly a deliberate act. His colleague, Robin, reported that no information about the attack could be traced. The perpetrator was like a ghost, leaving no evidence behind. Enraged, Hunter immediately suspected the mastermind, a hacker known as Shadow, responsible for collapsing the GDP of several nations and bankrupting numerous Fortune 500 companies. This was not the first time Shadow had provoked them. But what infuriated Hunter most was the CIA's inability to uncover any details about the hacker's identity, despite exhaustive efforts. As Hunter racked his brain for a solution, his superior, Ketty, appeared and demanded an explanation. Hunter attempted to conceal his oversight, but Ketty saw through him. She sternly warned him against negligence, emphasizing that the situation threatened the safety of millions. At that moment, Agent Simon noticed a suspicious figure on a surveillance monitor, completely obscured by a mask, making it impossible to discern their appearance or build. With no CIA agents available in Bangkok to handle the mission, Hunter suggested deploying a Singapore task force. However, Ketty dismissed the idea, noting that it would take at least an hour for them to reach Bangkok, by which time Shadow would likely have fled Thailand, rendering the search akin to finding a needle in a haystack. After careful consideration, Ketty made an urgent decision to recall a disgraced former agent, Lazzarus, who was hiding in Bangkok's slums to evade a manhunt. 2 years earlier, Lazzarus, then a CIA agent, had been tasked with protecting a crucial diplomat. Unbeknownst to him, the diplomat was a sadistic predator. Driven by a sense of justice, Lazzarus attacked the diplomat, inadvertently leaving him in a vegetative state. To make matters worse, the diplomat was the brother of the CIA director, Sia. As a result, Lazzarus was not only dismissed, but also became entangled in legal troubles, and even his fiancée betrayed him. Left with no choice, he lived a fugitive's life, scraping by and hiding. When Ketty called Lazzarus, he found it hard to believe. Before he could respond, she urgently pleaded with him not to hang up and explain the CIA's predicament, hoping he could help capture Shadow. Lazzarus scoffed, reminded of how the CIA had betrayed him, and hung up in anger. Moments later, enemies tracked him down. After barely escaping, Ketty called again, this time with a friendlier tone, promising to lift his arrest warrant and restore his normal life if he apprehended Shadow. The offer was too tempting to refuse, and Lazzarus agreed. Meanwhile, Shadow was about to flee Bangkok by plane. Ketty immediately arranged to lift Lazzarus's flight ban and instructed him to board the same flight to apprehend the hacker. Unbeknownst to them, someone had leaked Shadow's identity on the dark web, placing a multi-million-dollar bounty on their head, attracting numerous assassins eager to claim the reward. Lazzarus arrived at Bangkok Airport, where a liaison provided him with a passport and boarding pass. Still wary of Ketty, he hesitated. Just before boarding, his phone rang again. CIA technicians had analyzed footage from the bombing site and discovered bloodstains nearby, indicating Shadow had been injured before escaping. Vickers frowned but handed his passport to security. The scanner displayed NISA twice, creating a tense moment. A nearby officer tapped the machine and a green clearance appeared, allowing Vickers to board the flight to San Francisco smoothly. On the 16-hour flight, Vickers had no information about Shadow, not even their gender, and could only discreetly observe passengers. Meanwhile, the CIA's Bangkok team uncovered that Shadow, after being wounded, had visited a veterinary clinic for treatment. They pursued this lead for more clues. With help from a flight attendant, Vickers found his seat, but a male passenger's odd behavior caught his attention. The man quickly explained it was just flight anxiety, and Vickers relaxed, taking a strong drink from the attendant. As the plane took off, his nerves settled, unaware of the greater danger awaiting him. Shortly after takeoff, the man seated next to Vickers struck up a conversation, offering optimistic advice about hope and success. Annoyed, Vickers excused himself to the restroom, subtly scanning other passengers for his target but finding nothing. Returning to his seat, he saw the man chatting lively with a flight attendant, even requesting 2 strong drinks. The man's enthusiasm disarmed Vickers, who drank the offered liquor, only to feel something wrong with his body. Stumbling to his feet, he tried to seek help, leading to the opening scene. Under the influence of a drug, Vickers was no match for his assailant, who intended to toy with him before killing him. This gave Vickers an opportunity to fight back. With all his strength, he tackled the man, impaling his head on a fire sprinkler, rendering him immobile. Confirming the man's death, Vickers contacted Ketty, then dragged the body to the restroom, washed off the blood, and drank hand soap water to expel the drug. Regaining clarity, he hid the body in an air vent. At that moment, 2 flight attendants knocked, asking if he needed medical assistance due to the earlier commotion. As the knocking grew insistent, an air marshal demanded the door be opened. Vickers quickly spoke to Ketty, opened the door, and claimed he was airsick. However, a male attendant noticed blood dripping from the ceiling. Vickers swiftly knocked out the air marshal and pulled both attendants into the restroom. Seeing the arm protruding from the vent, the attendants were speechless with fear. They warned of another air marshal on board. Vickers, not wanting to harm them, explained his identity and situation, asking for the passenger list and for the captain to stay vigilant. Relieved he meant no harm, the attendants agreed to help, providing clean clothes. Vickers handed a wrapped gun to the female attendant, Lisa, to handle discreetly. With the passenger list in hand, Vickers meticulously searched the cabin but found no leads. Returning to the galley, the male attendant, Pao, reported finding an air marshal's badge and radio in a trash bin. Vickers's expression darkened, and they discovered a large pool of blood in a kitchen transport bin connected to the cargo hold. Lisa arrived, and Vickers decided to investigate the cargo hold with her. As expected, they found the second air marshal's body. Shocked, Lisa asked who Vickers was hunting. He countered, "Feeling hot? Why the sweat?" Praising her disguise, he lifted her shirt to check for wounds, revealing Shadow was not a middle-aged man but a 16-year-old girl. Lisa, exposed, tried to flee, but their conversation was overheard by an assassin in the shadows. Her reopened abdominal wound confirmed Vickers's suspicions. Under his threat, Lisa agreed to cooperate to survive the flight. They informed the pilots to lock the cockpit until landing. Lisa resumed her flight attendant role, while Vickers checked the first-class cabin. There, an arrogant attendant dismissed him, but a woman in a suit attacked. Initially thinking she mistook him for Shadow, Vickers defended passively until noticing a tattoo linking her to the Triad assassin group. Realizing the gravity, he fought fiercely, subduing her. Her accomplices appeared, and Vickers, wielding an empty wine bottle, dispatched them with his agility. Then, a phone dropped by an assassin lit up, displaying Vickers' photo. He was also a bounty target. Furious, he confronted Lisa, who admitted she had not only targeted the CIA but also bombed a triad electronics factory involved in illegal deals, earning their wrath. Vickers, resigned to his bad luck, continued. Ketty, informed of the plane's chaos, could only pray, while Hunter doubted Vickers' competence and wanted to escalate the matter. Ketty stopped him, trusting Vickers. The situation on the plane worsened as assassins received Vickers' photo and bounty details. Realizing evasion was futile, a firefight erupted in the cramped cabin. Passengers screamed, and Vickers struggled against the overwhelming numbers. Lisa's timely aid saved him, but he remained wary, knowing her exposure as Shadow would worsen their predicament. Unbeknownst to them, a man behind a curtain overheard their talk and kidnapped Lisa. Vickers, ambushed while intervening, fought off attackers. Lisa, no damsel, smashed a water jug and suitcase on her captor, freeing herself. Vickers, wounded, regrouped with her, only to be hit by a dart and pinned by 3 oddly dressed women, Lisa's backup team. With the situation temporarily safe, Vickers, severely injured, collapsed. The group treated his wounds in the cargo hold. Lisa, moved by his sacrifice, revealed her past. An orphan trained by the Thai military as a hacker, she later used her skills for illegal acts, but, tormented by guilt, betrayed her organization, stealing a mysterious device capable of breaching national firewalls in seconds, the true target of the assassins. Meanwhile, the CIA learned Shadow's identity. As Hunter left, Ketty's smile faded. Soon, Shadow's true identity appeared. On the dark web, orchestrated by Hunter to pit Vickers against the assassins, allowing him to capture Lisa and claim the device and credit without paying the bounty. Surprisingly, Ketty, aware of his scheme, allied with him for a low-cost capture. Back on the plane, assassins breached the cargo hold. Powell warned Lisa her photo was circulating. With the partition weakening, Vickers took the offensive, injecting stolen veterinary adrenaline to boost his body. However, it was a potent toad venom, far stronger than adrenaline. Leading Lisa's team, he attacked the assassins, his senses distorted by the venom, seeing blood as fireworks. They dominated despite being outnumbered. A triad group, sensing chaos, opened fire, accidentally shattering a window. The pressure sucked an assassin out, depleting oxygen. Vickers and Lisa's team eliminated the gunman, and the pilot stabilized the plane by descending. The co-pilot, ignoring Vickers' warning, opened the cockpit, allowing assassins to seize control. Vickers, his wound reopened, was weakening, when Lisa tossed him a powerful chainsaw. He unleashed a brutal massacre, blood staining the cabin. As he fought, an unconscious triad member awoke, targeting Lisa, but Vickers dispatched him. With all assassins dead, only Vickers and Lisa remained. But the captain was killed. How could they land safely? At the landing site, Ketty and Hunter watched the plane approach on radar. Hunter's excitement turned to shock as it vanished. Ketty shot him, revealing her plan. When Vickers' phone rang, learning Ketty wanted the device, he refused to surrender Lisa, hanging up. Unable to land in San Francisco, Lisa, a top hacker with the device, took control and safely landed the plane. As Vickers awoke, a grenade shattered the room's wall. He survived, ready to continue the fight. The film, set on a Bangkok to San Francisco flight, follows Agent Sakharovich, urgently recalled to capture the mysterious hacker Shadow. a deadly battle unfolds at 30,000 feet. The action-packed film, reminiscent of John Wick, features intense close-quarters combat and shocking visuals, enhanced by handheld camera work for realism. Though the plot is somewhat simplistic, director James Marr skillfully uses spatial design and visual language for a cohesive narrative. Lead actor Joss George Hennet's nuanced performance crafts a brave, cunning agent, his charisma shining in action scenes. Beyond thrills, the film weaves emotional bonds between Vickers and passengers, adding warmth despite its understated portrayal, enriching the story's depth and avoiding a purely action-driven narrative. Interested viewers can watch Fly to experience its value. A film's worth lies in its reputation, and a review's value lies in its insights. Thank you for reading. What are your thoughts on this film?